A simple scan on the forehead was all the judge needed to decide if someone would go to heaven or hell. That day, Max accidentally entered hell. The judge instantly summoned a steel door out of thin air and motioned for him to pass through. As Max stepped out of the line, the others stared at him and curious about where he was going. When he slowly pushed open the door, a soft and warm white light poured out. Everyone instantly understood it was the gate to heaven. They rushed toward it in a frenzy, but the moment they opened the door, disaster struck. The rest stood frozen in horror. Just as they felt lucky to have held back, they didn't realize something far worse than death was waiting for them. The judge assigned punishments based on crimes committed during life. Thieves and murderers were thrown into the fire pits and burned by lava over and over again. Even those who claimed to be kind and tried to argue with the judge were quickly silenced by hard evidence and tossed into the lava. But these were only minor crimes. The punishment was far more severe for serial killers. They were boiled in lava, then roasted in the heat pits after their flesh grew back. To speed things up, the judge would grind their bodies into pieces and freeze them solid in the ice pits. Con men and politicians who made a living through lies were sent to tongue-pulling hell. Their tongues were torn out one by one and cut with scissors based on how much they had cheated others. Those guilty of incest were nailed to spikes with their lovers and left to suffer forever. Bullies and violent drunks were thrown into the screaming pits and forced to walk steel wires over cliffs. One misstep meant falling straight into the lava. Though the punishment system in hell was nearly perfect, there were always exceptions. From time to time, souls appeared whose crimes could not be judged right away. In these cases, the judge pulled up their full life record. Once the file was opened, the king of hell made the final ruling. He would bring the soul to the scale of virtue and sin. If the weight of the sin stayed under 50 kilograms, the soul would receive one chance at redemption. Emma stood before the judgment platform. She had been a loan shark in life and carried a heavy burden of sin. She thought her fate was sealed, but just before the verdict, she remembered her daughter and broke into tears. That single moment of remorse lightened her sin just enough to reach the threshold for forgiveness. The king of hell granted her mercy and let her join her daughter in heaven. From then on, they lived a quiet and happy life together.